Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. It is Wednesday, January the 17th, 2024. Getting a little later start today with the video. Long day at the office. A lot of client meetings, a lot of phone calls, a lot of drafting of documents. Just one of those days. But look, I'm fortunate to have the work. When you own your own business, there's really no clock in, no clock out time. There's no off the clock. You're just kind of always grinding to get it done, right? For your customers, for your clients. It's nothing like feeling the additional stress of that sometimes, but also having the freedom knowing that you're your own boss and you're creating your own revenue stream. You're dependent on the output from your efforts every day. Which is very, very rewarding, very gratifying. I would suggest that all of you think about and consider trying to start your own businesses. Try to start putting together some sources, if you can, of generating revenues outside of your 9-to-5 job where your boss cuts you a check or you're a W-2 employee if it's not for your own corporation. Thank you for watching these shows. I appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. Please do so if you haven't already. Please hit the thumbs up button and like the videos. Hit the bell notification for me, and let's share these videos as far and wide as possible with family, friends, and colleagues so they can understand the same stuff that we are all looking at and process it and hopefully make better decisions from a financial perspective, from a health and wellness perspective, from job security perspective. All these things are important. So again, thank you very much. Thanks for the comments. I have a few articles to cover today, and then I'll address something I was working on here at the practice today relative to some law in motion. So the first article is talks about a fire sale of office space in New York. This is out of Zero Hedge. Again, a lot of these things just building on themes we already know to be unfolding. But it's important to understand as this stuff happens that it's getting worse. It's not getting better. And so we're on the continued downturn. So the where we're at in the cycle is extremely important so that hopefully we'll all be in better position to take advantage of opportunities, or at least to hedge our downside risk depending on your personal circumstances. The first article says Blackstone's defaulted Manhattan office tower loan marketed at 50% discount. This says continued turmoil in the office market is causing concern as the third week of the new year nears an end. Sources close with Bloomberg said a $308 million mortgage on a Manhattan office tower owned by Blackstone is being marketed at $150 million, or about a 50% haircut. This is the second attempt to sell the tower by the private equity giant who defaulted on the debt. Midland Loan Services, the special servicer, hired brokerage Jones Lang LaSalle Inc. to sell the tower. It's at 1740 Broadway. The debt's packaged into a commercial mortgage backed and marketed at a 50% discount. It says Blackstone stopped funding operation shortfalls at that tower location early last year and stopped paying the mortgage on the loan. So it appears the private equity firm has since abandoned the tower. Quote, this is Blackstone quoting, "We wrote this property off 2 years ago, and in the event a buyer is identified, we will work collaboratively to transfer the ownership," a Blackstone spokesperson said. The imploding value of 1740 Broadway is just a preview, it says, of what's coming down the pipe for towers in the borough and other major cities. And the key to that is other major cities. This is going to be pervasive across our country. We're already seeing it in Los Angeles as well, San Francisco, New York. Says a new report by the Financial Times, which references the Mortgage Bankers Association data, shows $117 billion in CRE, commercial real estate, office debt needs to be repaid or refinanced this year in 2024. Much of this debt is concentrated in major cities like Manhattan, San Francisco, Chicago, and Los Angeles. And the story concludes by saying, what's worse is that Moody's Analytics data shows that 19.6% of office space across major U.S. metro cities or areas was not leased as of the fourth quarter of 2023. That exceeds the previous high of 19.3, which was set in the real estate downturn time between 1986 and 1991. So we have to go back to 86 to 91 to a time where there was this much vacancy in the office space across this country. So look, these defaulted loans, these companies don't care. You heard what that source from Blackstone said. Yeah, we just walked away. We gave it back. We stopped paying the loan. We'll cooperate to transfer ownership, but we're done. So you're going to see that accelerating this year across this market. Another article I saw from Zero Hedge today says yet another recession red flag. Net saving is negative. And I looked up what net saving is, and according to this definition, it says net saving refers to the difference between current revenues and current expenditures, or the fiscal balance without taking into account capital expenditures. And that's from General Government Net Saving, the OECD library definition. And this article says, net savings as a percentage of gross national income has been negative since the first quarter of 2023. The current period of negative net savings, here, listen to this, is only the third time that net saving has gone negative in more than 75 years. It says the only other time net savings has gone negative is in the lead up to the Great Recession and during the pandemic recession. It says in general, net saving tends to fall steeply in early periods of recessions, and this can be seen and there's a graph which I'm not gonna try to show you here. It says this likely reflects a few different trends. One being that the federal government continues to go more deeply into the red when tax revenues are weak as they are now. And we know the government's going into the red more and more. We've seen the debt levels rise, the interest that's due and payable on the debt obviously rise in concurrence as well. The article finishes by saying, the one thing is clear, net saving has worsened rapidly since the fourth quarter of 2020, dropping from 2.9% in that quarter, listen to this, to minus 0.7% in the third quarter of 2023. Such a rapid drop virtually always indicates the U.S. has either entered a recession or will soon be entering a recession. So again, some more data to confirm what we know is happening with this economy. The last article I want to address pertains to California, specifically from Business Insider, and it deals with an owner of a fast food franchises out here in California. We have Fat Burgers. I don't know where you guys are in the country, and if those are all across the country. I think they're more western states, but this guy owns 4 Fat Burger franchises in Los Angeles. And the article deals with the minimum wage being increased to $20 an hour for those workers, and how it's impacting and will impact these kind of business operators. And it says Marcus Wahlberg and his family operate 4 Fat Burger franchises in Los Angeles. Over the years, the restaurants have survived economic downturns, state labor laws that increase operational costs, and the recent pandemic. But doing business in California has been more strained than at any time I can remember, Wahlberg told Business Insider. It says the main reason California fast food workers are getting a big bump in pay to $20 an hour under a new state law that goes into effect in April. It says that new wage is nearly 30% more than most employers pay fast food workers. The law affects 557,000 fast food workers at 30,000 restaurants in California. And it says the fast food franchisees are bracing themselves for the increased labor cost, as you can imagine, by trimming staff, reducing headcount, implementing hiring freezes. This owner says, I feel that there will be a lot of pain to workers as franchise owners are forced to take drastic measures. So once again, another law that has the opposite effect of as intended. Something not well thought through. Again, not going to get political with regard to my view on it. But look, the same workers that the state claims to be protecting by forcing the employers to pay them more are the same workers now that are going to be getting laid off because these franchisees will not afford to be able to pay these across the board hourly hikes, and explains why here. So what are these owners doing to counteract or to address this 30% on average hourly increase in pay? What he says, number one, they're going to raise the prices on their menu. They're going to pass this off, they have to their customers, to their consumers. That means we're going to be paying more at these restaurants. I don't eat much fast food. Actually, I do like Fat Burger. It's a pretty darn good burger. They're not cheap to begin with, but the prices are going up. It says it's a scary thing because customers are already complaining that prices are too high, this guy says. So that's one thing they're going to do. They're going to increase their menu prices. Second thing, they're going to trim employee hours and implement hiring freezes. It says, quote, we're not hiring new people to fill jobs. We're being very tight on schedules. What else are they going to do to address this? They're going to scrap employee vacation time. He says Wahlberg said he used to offer paid time off to eligible workers. The average worker earned about 48 hours of paid time off, capped at 72 hours a year. But he eliminated the PTO program, first launched in 2021. At the start of the year, he says, to prepare for the increase in wages in 2024. He said employees liked, past tense, liked the program because it gave them flexible time off for family days. So that's no more either. He says the minimum wage starting at $20 an hour for entry-level workers. He'd be forced to raise wages for shift leaders and managers who are making about the same amount of money but have much more responsibility. So when you increase for one, you have to increase across the board for all, or they're going to jump ship and go somewhere else. Because as a result, there was going to be a domino effect on the upper ranks who are going to demand more money or they're going to flee. Evidently, the new California law does not apply to employees at full-service chains like Chili's or a Cheesecake Factory, according to this article. So, again, I don't know. It seems like we have a multitude of laws coming out. They're just simply not well thought through. Who does this benefit? According to this owner, it's not going to benefit his employees by any means. So, again, comment down below what's going on in your state with this, if you're having similar laws that are being implemented, or if this is just one more goofy California anomaly. I'm going to close today. Sorry, the light's getting really, really dim in here. I'm filming a bit later than usual, and quickly the light is disappearing on me. So hopefully the video quality is okay. Lastly, I want to address, worked on emotion all day today. I have a real estate litigation case. It's another one of these difficult cases where the parties had an oral contract that they were going to be each on title, that one was going to be in possession of the property, pay off the other's mortgage over the years, pay all the expenses, all the maintenance, all the upkeep for the property. So thereby having a situation where the other owner didn't have any financial responsibility. And the deal was when that obligation was paid off, the mortgage was paid off. In this case, it was like about 12 years that the other owner was going to transfer title. So what happens? The one owner completes their obligations. They pay all this stuff for all these years. They go to the other owner and say, okay, here's the paid off debt. Here's everything we've done, fully performed. Please transfer the other half of the title. And the other person says no. Well, now the property's gone up in value. over all those years, the debt's been repaid, and now we have a dispute. So it went to a lawsuit, and in this case, the other party has filed a motion against me. It's called a demurrer, D-E-M-U-R-R-E-R, demurrer. And it challenges the sufficiency of the pleadings. There is a statutory framework on the books called the Statute of Frauds, that any contract that deals with the transfer of real property, buying or selling of real property, must be in writing. There are exceptions to that rule, but it usually ends up in litigation because it's such a complex doctrine. One of the exceptions to the rule is if the party claiming the oral contract existed can show or to plead and prove that the parties fully performed under the terms of the oral agreement. That's one of the exceptions to the rule. There's a lot of caveats to it, and it becomes, of course, a he said, she said situation. I've told you many times on previous videos, do not have handshake deals in any regard, but specifically not with regard to real property transactions. You have to have those in writing. Otherwise, when, I don't say if, but when the dispute arises, which it most always does, you're going to end up in an expensive lawsuit. It's going to be very challenging. And usually the equities fall with the person claiming that there was this oral agreement. But a lot of times the court doesn't enforce that because of the ambiguity. So in any event, I won't get too detailed, but I'm opposing this demurrer motion today. We filed what's called a memorandum of points and authorities, citing all of the case law and why our pleading that we've alleged and the lawsuit is, why it states valid claims, valid cause of action. We're only at stage 1 of this lawsuit. Once we overcome the hurdle on that, then you've got to go through discovery, trial prep, trial. Meanwhile, you have a piece of property that's not being held the way it was intended to be held. So please see lawyers on these things, guys, before you enter into business transactions, especially for real estate. It pays to pay a good business and real estate lawyer up front a few hours to simply structure an agreement so that these kind of things don't happen. With that being said, I'm going to be leaving here in a few minutes to go grab my workout, 1 hour workout today. Someone asked me on a show, one of the comments, show a few days ago, if I'm tracking my steps. I have been starting to do that with this new post New Year challenge I'm doing. I bought this little $20 fitness tracker I wear on this wrist throughout the day to track steps. For those of you that are tracking steps, I'm getting about 10,000 steps, give or take, each day. I get about 5,000 steps, just miscellaneous stuff, walking my little treadmill here at the office a few minutes a day. But then during my 1 hour workout, I'm hitting about 10,000 for whoever it was that asked me that question. Please get your physical fitness in. Get your workouts in. Please work on your cardio and your physical fitness, your physical strength, your strength training. Keep the hydration levels up. This is really, really important, as I talk about every day. I love hearing your comments about the regimens you're keeping. It takes discipline, along with the diet, eating healthy, and just making good choices. With that being said, appreciate all of you. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.